Since our pasta is going to be ready shortly, I thought I'd go ahead and get started on the... I like my broccoli steamed, so that's what I'm going to do. So I like to just put it in this plate. I can use this plate just because it has a little bit of a protection on the bottom so it doesn't rust or anything while it's in there in the heat. Okay, so what I like to do is I just grab a pan, I fill it up about 1/10 of the way with water, and then I just put in the plate with the broccoli in there, just like this. And then I go ahead and put a lid on it. And it doesn't take too long for the broccoli to steam. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes at most. Make sure to stir our pasta. And that should be ready in about 3-4 minutes. And so what I like to do is I like to season my chicken with pepper and salt. I use about 1/2 teaspoon of salt just because I know I have more than enough salt throughout my diet. And yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I might have missed it, but I use a teaspoon of pepper and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Alright, so I just go ahead and throw the pepper all around and the salt as well. And then you gotta get your hands in there. Just mix it up. Just make sure to wash your hands before all of this, since you are using multiple products like broccoli and chicken and all that stuff, but make sure to keep your hands clean. Alright, and that should be good enough. Alright, so now we have the chicken. Our pasta is almost ready, and our broccoli is steamed. So after a few minutes of the broccoli steaming, you just want to go ahead and turn it off and take the lid off so you can, well, it doesn't get too soggy in there or anything like that. You want to have it nice, soft, but not really soggy. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this over here. And I like to use a medium-sized pan about this big, just to compare it to a larger and smaller one about these sizes. Just because I don't have too little chicken and I want to give it a nice enough room so it's not all clamped up together and it cooks a little bit faster and more thoroughly. And so what I want to do is I want to put in a little bit of oil onto the... Probably should actually have it warm up a little bit, the pan. There we go. And what you want to do for the oil is you want to just have about or a little bit less of a tablespoon of oil. Just let it warm up a little bit so I can just go ahead and let the oil heat up a little bit before I put my chicken in there as well. Gotta make sure to stir the penne every so often, just so it doesn't stick or anything like that. You want to make sure everything is nice and proportional as well. Alright, so I think it's hot enough, so I'm going to go ahead and spread out my oil throughout the pan. Just because I don't want anything to stick or anything like that. I want a nice spread around the pan with my oil, which is why I move it around and stuff like that. Alright, and I don't like to have my chicken in really high power just because I'm not always the most attentive person out there. I want to make sure my chicken doesn't overcook if I'm not like giving it its full attention at some point or not. So here's our chicken now. Yeah, and actually our pasta's all ready to go. Just done reboiling and whatnot. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the pasta since there's way too much water in there, and that's what you would like to do. You just drain it in a container like this with a bunch of holes in it. Just make sure to put it in your sink or something so you're not getting your whole kitchen wet and whatnot. Alright, and just for safety, the pan probably is hot, so you want to use like mitts or like these things to prevent like yourself from like burning and stuff like that. And you want to give the chicken a bit of a flip throughout. It's a bit hard to do it with one hand on my phone and the other one on this since the pan does move. You slide around, but as best as possible. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it down a little bit so it doesn't overcook while I'm draining my pasta. And you should probably have your vent on just for the purpose that it's way too loud. For this video, I didn't do that, so I'm going to go ahead and open the door. Don't want my smoke alarms or anything like that to go off. Or the fire department to come through. Gotta make sure it's nice and drained. Alright, and so there's that. So now our pasta is boiled, and now we have our broccoli all ready. Now we're just gonna wait for our chicken to cook. Just gonna go ahead and turn it up a little bit so we can speed up the process. Don't want you guys wasting too much time on this video, even though we are getting a grade on it. Alright, And just for the process time and whatnot, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video so we can just wait for the chicken to finish their cooking. Alright, now that our chicken's almost done, should be ready in the next minute or so. Just going to leave it there for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put another teaspoon of oil into the pan. Actually, for this much food, I'm used to making about 2 to 3 servings of this. I'm going to go ahead and put another tablespoon of oil in there. Let it spread nicely. By the way, do not grab the pans as I actually just did. Didn't even realize that my video was pointed out. But don't grab the pan. And so what you want to do now is grab your Alfredo sauce. I use Ragu, classic Alfredo. And what you want to do is, since I don't like my pasta over sauced, what I do is I pour in the sauce first, let it heat up. Just don't have it too high. Start stirring it up. And the sauce does burn, actually. I've learned that through experience. So you want to make sure you stir it well. And yeah, right before you throw in your pasta. Alright, I'm going to set that down while I dump the pasta in. Oh man, I was a little wasteful on that one. That's alright. I like to spread it out a little bit before tossing in the rest of the ingredients that we do put in there. Here comes the chicken. And the broccoli. And you just want to go ahead and toss it around. Make sure everything's nice and proportional, that you don't have too much chicken or too much broccoli actually throughout one small plate or anything like that. Man, I'm really wasteful today. I hope you guys know I'm starving while I'm making this, and this looks really good to me right now. Alright, and there you have it. My chicken Alfredo pasta. Now you're just free to serve yourself and whatnot. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe even though I don't post anything ever. Yeah.